Good morning, students. So today we're going to discuss a new topic in the chapter Human Reproduction. Topic is hormonal control of male and female reproductive systems. As you know, when human being attains maturity or attains the stage of puberty, you might have observed many physiological changes in your body. So includes these changes include when it comes to male spermatogenesis, that means formation of male gametes or sperm or spermatogenesis starts uh, in case of males, or gamete formation begins, and then secondary sex organs, they become functional, deep voice and different hair pattern in case of males. So all of these are the signs of the stage of puberty, which comes around at the age of 13 to 16 years in case of males. And in case of females, the stage of puberty is attained at the age of 11 to 14 years. Sometimes it may attain before 11 years of age. Okay, so the signs of physiological changes in case of female reproductive system, these changes or these physiological changes include the beginning of menstrual cycle. The beginning of menstrual cycle means female now have attained the stage of puberty and maturity. Then start of ovulation means egg formation has begun. Development of mammary glands, enlargement of breasts, and fat deposition in certain areas, and also broadening of pelvic region. Okay, so all of these are the signs of the stage of puberty in case of males as well as in case of females. Okay, so all of these physiological changes take place because of having the change in the secretion of hormones, or the change in the pattern of hormones in both in case of males and in case of females. So now we would study about those hormonal changes, the special hormonal secretions by which we get physiological changes at the stage of puberty. Okay, so all of this begins with hypothalamus, which is present inside our brain. So this hypothalamus releases a specialized hormone named GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Okay, and please do pay attention. Okay, so hypothalamus releases a hormone known as gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH. This GnRH hormone actually stimulates anterior pituitary gland, and this anterior pituitary gland, when it gets stimulated by this GnRH, now this gland would release some hormones, males and in females. Okay, so let's do it on this side. Means what happens in case of males. So these stages are similar both in case of males and females. Means hypothalamus releases the hormone gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH. This GnRH activates anterior pituitary to release certain hormones in males as well as in females. Firstly, males. What happens in case of males? So this anterior pituitary releases two types of hormones. First is FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and ICSH or LH, interstitial cell stimulating hormone or luteinizing hormone. Actually, both of these hormones, like you will also see this LH in case of females. both LH and this ICSH, interstitial stimulating hormone, and this luteinizing hormone are chemically similar in nature. Okay, so two types of hormone, FSH and ICSH or LH. This FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, it has two types of functions. First function is to stimulate and regulate germinal epithelium. This germinal epithelium, remember the transverse section of seminiferous tubules, or do watch my previous lecture to understand all of this. To stimulate and regulate germinal epithelium. So FSH stimulates and regulates germinal epithelium. And when this germinal epithelium gets stimulated, or the germ cells present in this epithelium, because there are two types of cells, these germ cells and Sertoli cells. So these germ cells present in germinal epithelium, they would undergo meiosis. When this germ cell would undergo meiosis, ultimately this process would be taken place, spermatogenesis. That means formation or development of gametes or sperms. So the main function of FSH is to stimulate germinal epithelium. Inside the germinal epithelium, there are two types of cells, germ cells and Sertoli cells. So both germ cells and Sertoli cells, they get stimulated. When germ cell gets stimulated, they would undergo meiosis and would form gametes with the process of named spermatogenesis. And when Sertoli cells get stimulated by the same FSH, because both of these cells, germ cells and Sertoli cells, are present within germinal epithelium, two different types of cells within the same layer. So these Sertoli cells actually secretes two types of proteins. One is androgen binding proteins. These androgen binding proteins actually maintain high concentration of testosterone, which is a male sex hormone. They maintain high concentration of testosterone in seminiferous tubules. What is the function of these androgen binding proteins? To maintain high concentration of testosterone in seminiferous tubules. And the second protein is inhibin. As its name, inhibin means it inhibits something. ये किस चीज को रोकता है. Inhibin means this inhibin protein along with testosterone hormone, they both of them inhibit the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone by hypothalamus. यानी ये inhibin और टेस्टोस्टेरोन दोनों मिलके इसको GnRH को रोकते हैं. क्यों? अगर ये GnRH रुकेगा तो ये ऑब्वियसली ये एंटीरियर पिट्यूटरी को आगे स्टिमुलेट नहीं करेगा. अगर ये स्टिमुलेट नहीं होगी तो आगे ये FSH या ये आगे हार्मोन्स नहीं बनेंगे. अगर ये नहीं बनेंगे तो स्पर्मेटोजेनेसिस नहीं होगी. यानी लगातार ये प्रोसेस नहीं होती है. बीच में जो ब्रेक्स आएंगे, जो बीच में जो इनहिबिशन आएगी, जो रुकावट आएगी, वो जो इनहिबिशन है वो कौन करेगा? दिस इनहिबिन along with testosterone hormone. Okay. The next is ICSH, interstitial cell stimulating hormones, or LH. Both of these are chemically similar in nature. So you can write over here ICSH or LH in case of male. So this ICSH, interstitial cell stimulating hormones, this hormone goes into the testes and stimulates Leydig cells. Leydig cells or interstitial cells. The cell mass, okay, you might have seen in case of the transverse section of seminiferous tubules. Okay, so this hormone goes into testes and stimulates Leydig cells or interstitial cells to make and release male sex hormone, that is testosterone. तो टेस्टोस्टेरोन जो बनेगा और जो रिलीज होगा, ये सब स्टिमुलेट कौन करेगा? दिस ICSH hormone. by stimulating Leydig cells or interstitial cells. Okay, so let's come to the females. Both the hormones are same, FSH, LH, both in case of males as well as in females. This LH is chemically similar to this ICSH. So this FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, stimulates follicular cells. You have seen this structure, internal structure of ovary, and I have drawn primary follicular cells. Those primary follicular cells, they change into Graafian follicle later. Okay, so this FSH stimulates follicular cells, and they are also responsible for maturation of egg in ovary in order to form secondary oocyte. They are also responsible for that maturation. Okay. So by stimulating follicular cells, that means process has begun inside the ovary. When these follicular cells get stimulated, they would change into Graafian follicle. Okay, so this Graafian follicle, the cells of these Graafian follicles like granulose cells, and when this Graafian follicle changes into corpus luteum, both of these are responsible to in the secretion of female sex hormone, that is estrogen. Okay, so both of these Graafian follicle as well as corpus luteum, they are responsible for the releasing or the secretion of this estrogen hormone, which is also responsible for secondary sex characters in females. On other hand, this luteinizing hormone, LH, luteinizing hormone, this stimulates ovulation on the 30th to 50th day of menstrual cycle. This luteinizing hormone stimulates ovulation, also responsible for secondary oocyte, formation of secondary oocyte, and it release from the ovary. So after this LH hormone also stimulates and also stimulates ovulation, as well as it also maintains corpus luteum. This corpus luteum structure actually is maintained and regulated by this Graafian follicle as well as this luteinizing hormone. Okay, this corpus luteum is maintained by luteinizing hormone as well as Graafian follicles. In turn, this corpus luteum secretes another hormone known as progesterone hormone. This progesterone hormone actually maintains the uterine lining, okay, during or after the pregnancy. So this progesterone hormone maintains the uterine lining or lining of uterus. So it's all about hormones, both in case of males and females. How do their secretion begin, and what are the various structures which are responsible for their secretions, and what are their functions. So everything has been written over here. Do revise it properly, and in case of any doubt you can comment in the comment section. Okay, and in the next lecture we would discuss about gametogenesis, and we would start with spermatogenesis in case of males. Thank you.